Scary Fright Night, Part 1. This book was written and illustrated by me, Danielle, circa 1993, at Aviano Elementary School in Aviano, Italy. This book is dedicated to my brothers and my sister. One day, Mr. Lawford was raking the leaves that were falling from the tree. Georgie, a boy that loved to talk about scary mysteries that happened a lot, was staring out the window. Mr. Lawford was a mean and grumpy old man. He was the meanest guy in that neighborhood. Georgie, who was taking pictures, was talking about how Mr. Lawford kills people and buries them in his yard with dirt and leaves. Michelle took the pictures and looked at them and said, "What are these for?" "They're for Mystery of the Month," Georgie explained. "And they're supposed to be here till we find out what's true." "I thought it was true," said Michael. "Wait till tomorrow. Remember, it's Friday the 13th. And then the next day is the Halloween party. We'll find out the real facts about him, and we'll be the first to report about it." Meanwhile, it was getting dark. "All right, I gotta get home or our mom will kill us," said Michelle. "Yeah," said Michael. Jonathan, who was quiet through the whole conversation, said, "We better get home too. Peace." As they climbed from the treehouse, they heard a yelp. "Let's get out of here!" "Sounds good to us," said the gang. As soon as they got in their house, Georgie looked out the window. "Must have been a cat," he thought. The next day, Georgie looked out his room window. Mr. Lawford was raking his leaves, but there weren't any leaves to rake. He was kind of gloomy, and his face was turning brown. His wife came out slowly with a black tray, but she had died a long time ago. Georgie started shaking his head with his mouth open and his eyes wide. Mr. and Mrs. Lawford looked up to see Georgie staring at them.
What the?
Georgie fell on his hands and knees.
Oh my God.
As soon as he got up,
Oh my God.
there was a greenish,
Oh my
misty coloring with a tail long enough to wrap around somebody's face. Georgie said,
Who are you?
The room turned dark. It started to rain and thunder, and hail was in the sky. Big chunks of ice were crashing into cars. The wind got wild. The trees were whooshing through the wind.
Mr. and Mrs. Lawford are dead. Mr. Lawford died this morning,
said the creature.
You mean I just saw the rerun of what they used to do when they were together?
Said Georgie.
You are correct,
the ghoul said, giving Georgie a box of chains.
Take these. If you go close to them, they'll jump out right at you. They're not humans anymore.
All right. But who are you?
Said Georgie.
I am one of the people Mr. Lawford killed.
Just like I said. And we're gonna be the first kids to report about it,
said Georgie.
Get ready,
said the creature.
Give these to your friends too. I will visit them. Tell them to always wear these around their necks, even at night when you go to sleep. Do this quickly. Take care of yourself.
Georgie put on his stuff and ran out the door with the covered box in his hands. Since his friends pulled up the steel rope to the clubhouse, he had to kick the tree. The kids were startled.
Oh my gosh! Who is it? Georgie!
Georgie yelled so loud, his next-door neighbors, Mr. and Mrs. Lawford, heard him.
Quick! Pull down the rope, Michelle, that is him!
They pulled down the rope as fast as they could. Georgie couldn't climb the rope, so he told them to pull it back up and open the door. They untied the tree trunk door and they ran up the tree trunk steps, tying the door tighter than ever. Georgie untied the gift box and gave each of the items.
What are these for?
Said Jonathan.
Did the ghost visit you guys?
Asked Georgie.
Well, yeah.
Said the gang.
How did you know? He visited me too.
Said Georgie.
Oh,
Said Michelle.
so that's what that box was. He said you were gonna bring something, but he didn't tell us exactly. Well, these are hats, necklaces, and rings, all with crosses on it. Everybody grab one of each, but not all of them. And bring some for your family. The ghost said he'll visit them so they'll believe what we say.
Said Georgie. Georgie climbed down the rope. The rest of the gang was too scared, so they went out the door. As soon as they were out of the treehouse, they ran as quickly as they could to their houses. All of the gang's parents believed because the ghost just visited them. As soon as they were in the tree, Mr. and Mrs. Lawford came out of their house and pointed at the treehouse. Georgie took pictures of them, pointing. The old people came closer and closer around the house. Then they began to bang on the door. Georgie, who had his hat, necklace, and rings on, gave the jewelry to his friends and walked slowly down the tree trunk steps.
I have an idea.
Said Georgie.
Maybe we can meditate and get that ghost to come back. That's a good idea.
Said Jonathan. So Michael, who was called the meditating professor, said,
Let us all join hands. Close your eyes and think of the ghost. O ye ghost, come back, for we need your help.
I will help you.
said a familiar voice.
Open your eyes now.
He had a book in his hands.
When you're in trouble with a bad creature, read this special book with a special verse for the bad thing it's doing.
All right,
Said Georgie excitedly.
Remember what it
Said the ghost as it faded away. Jonathan said,
I don't quite know. All right,
Said Georgie.
let's go.
The club went down the tree trunk steps and out of the tree trunk door with their jewelry on. The cannibal creatures started coming out of their house.
Now what are we gonna do?
Jonathan asked.
I don't know.
Said Georgie.
Let's kick the door down and kill them.
The children ran out the tree house and set their eyes on the two creatures. The creatures both trembled in fear of the jewelry. Georgie held out the book and said the verse that went right with the problem. He said,
Creatures of the living dead, go back to your deadly bed, for you do not scare me, because you aren't any longer a real human. Die! Die! Die!
the creatures fell into the ground and sunk inside, where they were never, ever heard of again. Georgie and the gang went into the treehouse for a nap. Georgie had cookies and high C juice boxes for him.
Now we can sleep in peace.
Georgie thought. Without any disturbance, the children fell into a deep sleep. The end. Or is it?